Senator Rogers, could you and will you allow hundreds of millions of dollars in crops to be salvaged by helping a bipartisan immigration reform occur?
That's in Congress, so I'm going to go back to the last question. Congress deals with the illegal immigration. I'll go back to the last question. If your idea of local control means that some other form of government that just happens to be close to you is local control, well, that is if your
answer the question.
Do I get time to answer the question? What?
Okay.
Did you get that?
There's no rebuttal.
That was a rebuttal.
Let me go to the next question, Senator Rogers. Unfunded mandates such as your online course requirements for all high school students seriously impact school system budgets without providing benefits to children. What two laws would you overturn to provide needed relief to districts?
Senate Bill 289 is the Digital Learning Act, and far from being an unfunded mandate, it is actually an enormous savings, one of the biggest savings we've passed in the state for the local school systems. I know sometimes you can read the paper and get what you believe to be the truth, or you could actually read the bill and understand the law. The law says that now, with digital learning, if a student takes a class at the Georgia Virtual School, the local system will have to pay a maximum of $250 for that student. Prior to this law being passed, the school system had to pay $650 for that student. So it is now a savings of $400 per student, per class, for all 180 school systems across the state. So contrary to being an unfunded mandate, I'm not sure where that information came from, it's one of the biggest savings for the local school systems that has actually passed in years. But more importantly, at the end of the day, it's about advancing education into the world of technology, which this state sorely needs.
All right, thank you. This next question goes to both Senator Rogers and Brandon Beach, but in a little different form. So I'll start with Senator Rogers. Recently, ethics have become a concern as a senator on the Rules Committee has been investigated by the Senate Ethics Committee for breaking the law and reimbursing himself for expenses. Senator Rogers, will you call a meeting of the Committee on Assignments to remove him, and when?
Anyone who suggests that you would take an action against any person before there's been a total adjudication of the process, that's a little foolish, honestly. The matter is before the Ethics Committee. To go and supersede the actions of the Ethics Committee, I mean, that's what people do when they just make decisions based on emotion. I mean, you've got to make decisions on what is the right thing to do. A charge has been filed. It's before the Ethics Committee. Allow the Ethics Committee to continue their work. At the conclusion of the Ethics Committee, then if there's a next step, you take the next step. But you certainly don't take a step before the Ethics Committee finishes their work.
All right, thank you so much. And Mr. Beach, where do you stand on the position of restoring government ethics?
Well, I signed the $100 pledge, but more importantly, I think we need to send people down there that have jobs, that don't go down there to make their $17,000 job become a real job and have good jobs because of their job as a state senator. I can just tell you that we need to have strong ethics. I've got a job. I will not be getting over $100 for gifts or anything like that. So I signed the $100 pledge. I think we need strong ethics. And one thing I think we ought to do is we have to, every so often, every period we have to file a disclosure, but we don't have to file our bank statement. I think the bank statement should be on the disclosure, because how do you know how much money's in that disclosure? It's an honor system. I think we should attach a bank statement to that.
All right, and let's show these two candidates our appreciation